It was
it started out.
a cable, you know, like you.
I couldn't figure
a
out.
woven cable, twisted cable.
Okay. I couldn't figure out how to make it to begin with. In fact, as crazy as it might sound, I started with a bristle brush or kind of a paintbrush thing, of trying to push them down on the ground. But that didn't last any. That didn't. You know, you have success and failures. Well, I was having failures, and I said, I've got to have something that I can make that shape out of. And so I thought, well, copper tubing, I can take and hammer it into a V shape.
Right.
But then there's no flex to it. So I got some aircraft cable and put in between it.
Okay, I forgot
between the copper and the attaching to the seed tube was more copper shaped up there, and that's the first run of we had was actually a piece of copper tubing shaped kind of like the seed firmer,
squeezed up against a steel cable and
then, because they had the flex to it. But I said, how in the world can you make this thing? And I went back up to see Vince Harsha, the patent attorney, in Moline, and he said, you know, said he and two more had helped a man get started or buy a plastics plant there.
More angels. Up here.
Well, really.
Now think about it.
Yeah, I know. Well,
you know, think about the odds against all of that happening, right, and me meeting him and him keeping me encouraged and him having a place to operate his stuff and being good friends with a retired ex-John Deere head patent attorney who was partners with two men who could make plastic, and then meeting Greg Souter. And you see what I'm talking about?
But
how, you know.
When I went up to see Vince, I said, this is what I got, but how would you make it? He said, let's go down to the plastics plant and see Brigg. And he had came here from Holland as a plastics
tool and die maker.
Tool and die maker.
I met with him once with y'all.
Yeah.
Three of us went down there, but I think that was a little later on.
Yeah, and he said, I think you have a plastic. I said, it has to be flexible. It has to have a memory to it. It has to be wear in the dirt. He said, I don't know about the dirt part, but he said, I know a plastic. He said, at that time, there's over 1,300 different plastic compounds. And he was brilliant, you know, in knowing that kind of stuff. He said, I have one in particular that I think would work. And he said, it's very limited. He said, you have to put an order in about 6 months before they'll even make it for you. And so I said, do you have a piece of it that I could take home and try on some way? And he said, yeah. I said, I'll give you a piece. And I cut about a 4-inch circle out of that, drill me a hole in it, and put a bolt through it, and I hooked it up to electric drill and put it out behind the house, between the house and the machine shed back there, gravel. I went out the next morning. It hadn't worn one speck of that plastic down, but it was wearing the gravel down. Dust coming up out of the gravel. It running continuously. The next morning I went out, the drill had quit because it had gotten so much dust in it, but the plastic still had worn in it. I called Brigg and I said, I can't hardly believe this. It's not, limestone rock is not bothering. So I put the second drill on it, hooked it back up. The third day, still the same thing. So I got me a bucket of sand, then put it in the bucket of sand. The fourth day, it had started chewing on it some, but it still hadn't, completely just, it hadn't worn that much. And I thought, well, I'm ready to take a chance on this. And so we worked out the design and stuff for it to be. And that's kind of the story of the seed farmer. Well, it's kind of the story of each one of them, where I've come to.